Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Canadians know that pollution is not free. We see the cost of droughts, floods, wildfires, and extreme weather. We see the effects of pollution on our health. Canadians expect polluters to pay because it's the right thing to do for our kids and for our grandkids. Putting a price on pollution is one of the most efficient tools we have to drive clean growth and cut carbon pollution. That's why carbon pricing is being adopted by countries around the world and is a critical part of Canada's clean growth and climate plan. According to the World Bank, 67 jurisdictions around the world are putting a price on carbon, representing about half of the global economy. Pricing makes pollution more expensive, which encourages people and businesses to pollute less. On the other hand, it makes clean solutions cheaper, and it puts more money back in people's pockets where they can better insulate their homes, ride the bus more often, or get a more fuel-efficient car the next time they buy one. 4 out of 5 Canadians already live in a jurisdiction that has a price on carbon pollution, and those provinces led the country in economic growth last year. We have evidence right here in Canada that carbon pricing works to cut emissions while maintaining economic growth. The province that I live in, my home province now, is British Columbia, and it's had a carbon tax for about a decade. And research has shown it helped cut fuel consumption and greenhouse gas emissions while keeping the economy growing. Alberta has had carbon pricing in place for many years and has among the highest employment growth rates in Canada. The goal of putting a price on carbon pollution is to reduce emissions by sending a price signal to the economy as a whole. Recent projections by Environment and Climate Change Canada found that the national GDP is estimated to grow by about 2% a year between now and 2020, with or without carbon pricing. Businesses, investors, and consumers change their behavior when they take carbon pricing into account in their daily decision-making. The clearer, more consistent, strong, and predictable the price signal, the greater its effectiveness in driving the choices that contribute to the transition to a low-carbon economy. Carbon pricing spurs innovation, and innovation is key to keeping Canada's economy competitive. Canadian businesses already know carbon pricing makes good sense and will help ensure they remain competitive in the emerging low-carbon economy. Canada's 5 major banks, along with many companies in the consumer goods, energy, and resource development sectors, also support putting a price on pollution. As members of the Carbon Pricing Leadership Coalition, which includes 32 national and subnational governments, 150 businesses, and 67 strategic partners globally working to support and accelerate carbon pricing around the world. Industry leaders know that cutting emissions makes good business sense. Businesses that become more efficient and use less energy also cut their emissions and save money on fuel. That makes sense for the economy and for the bottom line. In a letter to First Ministers, 60 business, labour, and environment leaders signed a statement in support of carbon pricing. This consensus includes Suncor, Cenovus, Rio Tinto, Tembec, Loblaws, Desjardins, General Electric, the Cooperators, and the Nature Conservancy. As some of Canada's largest employers pointed out, putting a price on carbon is good for business. They say we can meet our Paris climate commitments, grow our exports of clean technologies, energy, resources, and other products, and position Canada to prosper in a changing world. Today, Canada's clean tech sector ranks first out of G20 countries according to the 27 Global Clean Tech Innovation Index. This year, 13 of Canada's clean tech companies were ranked within the top 100 in the world, and that's an amazing result. Canadian companies are blowing away the competition for the Carbon X Prize, an award for companies that find innovative ways to reduce carbon emissions. This year, 4 Canadian companies reached the final round for the $20 million award. Canada's clean tech success stories include CarbonCure, a business that retrofits concrete plants with a technology that recycles carbon dioxide to make stronger, greener concrete. Solar Vision Inc., a Quebec-based business providing solar lighting technology. Enerchem, a business that turns Edmonton's non-recyclable waste into community-use fuels and chemicals. Agrosoma Bioscience, a Gatineau-based biotech firm that is now expanding low-carbon options for the biofuel industry. as an example, it's turning carinata, mustard-like seeds, into jet fuel. Clean growth represents a massive economic opportunity around the world. Carbon pricing will help Canadian companies create jobs and compete successfully in the global shift to a cleaner economy. An opportunity the World Bank estimates will be worth $20 trillion globally between now and 2030. And although pricing pollution is the foundation of our climate action plan, we've built on that foundation. We're working every day to implement Canada's Clean Growth and Climate Action Plan. And these actions include over $21 billion in green infrastructure investment, which will help build energy-efficient homes and offices and help families save on their energy bills. Over $20 billion to support public transit to help reduce commute times in our cities, increase the use of clean transportation, and allow people to spend more time with their families and less time in traffic. We're phasing out coal from our electricity system by 2030. This is the equivalent of taking 1.3 million cars off the road, significantly reducing our carbon emissions. This phase-out will prevent 260 premature deaths, 40,000 asthma episodes, and 190,000 days of breathing difficulty and reduced activity, resulting in health benefits of $1.2 billion over the lifetime of the regulations. And with the help of an expert panel, we're making sure the transition is a fair one for coal workers and communities. We're strengthening building codes and standards for energy efficiency, and we're implementing a clean fuel standard to clean up the fuels Canadians use. Mr. Speaker, this is a comprehensive, smart, and practical plan, the kind of plan you adopt when you are serious about clean growth and climate action. That's the work that we're doing every day for our kids and grandkids and to help Canadians prosper today. The party opposite doesn't share that vision. Under the previous government, this party wasted a decade failing to act on climate change. Over the weekend, we learned that their approach to our Paris targets is built on waving a magic wand and hoping